Hello guys, Harry here. Welcome back to my channel. Hope you're well. So guys, here it is. We're about to close 2024. We're not that far off, and every year as we come to this time of the year, I share my watch collection with you guys, and that is what I will be doing in this video today as well. Now you can see two watch boxes in the video right now. They are empty at the moment because I've taken the watches out to share them with you, but I wanted to share the watch boxes that I use to store my watches as well. So I'll quickly share them with you before we get on to the watches. Both of these boxes can store up to 8 watches, as you can see. So that's box 1 and box 2. The box on the left has been with me for about 3 years now, and then I bought this one about 2 years ago. They have really served me well so far, and I'm planning to keep them with me for years to come. So these are the two boxes that I use to store my watches. Now let's get on to the watches, and I'll show you what I have in my collection right now. So here we go, guys. I'm not going to do this video in any particular order. I'm not going to start with the most expensive to least expensive, or least expensive to most expensive. I'm just going to go with the flow and share all the watches that I have in my collection with you. I'm going to start off with the most out there piece in my collection, and that is my Hamilton Ventura. I bought this watch only about a week ago, and I've been loving this watch so far. Absolutely love this watch. Yes, this is a larger watch, but even on my wrist, which is slightly under 7 inches, it fits really nicely, and it hugs my wrist really nicely as well. And to be honest, it does not look that large either. I'll give you a quick wrist shot for every watch that I have in my collection, just to give you an idea how these watches look on my average wrist. So here it is on my wrist. As you can see, it does not look ridiculous, trust me. And in reality, in the flesh, it looks even better than it is looking in the video right now. Such an iconic watch as well. And I always wanted to have a Hamilton in my collection, and I'm so glad that I ended up buying this rather than going the conventional route of buying a car key, for example. Nothing against it. I absolutely love that collection of Hamilton as well, but I'm so glad that I ended up buying this. And I had nothing like this in my collection, and this adds such a variety to my collection as well. So moving on to the next watch in my collection, and we have my Orient Star. When I did the review of this watch on my channel, I titled the video as one of the most compelling alternatives to Grand Seiko, and I stand by that statement today as well. One of the most attractive watches under $500. I'm talking about under 500 Australian dollars, that is, and that is what I paid for this watch. Now these prices always fluctuate depending on where you're buying them from. I bought this from Amazon Australia, so the price was less than $500 back then. I believe the price has gone up a little bit, but they always change anyway. So yeah, a really beautiful timepiece. I really like the power reserve gauge there at 12 o'clock, and it is really nicely built, nicely finished, and you're getting a lot for your money as well. And you get a lot with a lot of watches from Orient, and that is the case here as well. And here it is on my wrist. You get a really nice wrist presence from this watch. Again, the finishing is really nice as well, especially for the price they are charging for this watch. And again, one of those watches that will stay in my collection for years to come. And the next watch in my collection is my Citizen, one of two Citizens in my collection. Absolutely love the dial on this watch, and I can't even capture the full beauty of this dial in the camera. You have to be out and about, out in the sunlight. That's where you will see how good this dial is. And one of those watches that you can just wear all day long without feeling the need of taking it off, because every time you look down on your watch, it just plays with the light so well. You get a different shade every time you look down on your watch. So comfortable as well. This strap is really comfortable. Comes with the 9000 series movement as well. And again, one of those watches that I feel like keeping in my collection for years to come. Here is the wrist shot. Here is how it looks on my average wrist, and again, it has to be all about the dial on this watch. And I mean, it has to be one of the most beautiful watches in my collection by far. I would say by far. As far as the dial is concerned, I don't think anything comes close to this Citizen. And moving on to my next watch, which is my Longines Zulu Time GMT, the only GMT in my collection. I'm actually saving up and working towards buying another GMT, which will be hopefully in the next 6 months or so. I need to save up a fair bit to get to that watch, but for now, it has to be one of the best finished watches in my collection. I've got more expensive watches in my collection, but I believe this watch will put those watches to shame when it comes down to the way this watch is finished. It is really nicely done. There's a lot of history behind this brand as well, and one of the best watches you can buy out there, especially when it comes to the price that they're charging for a lot of their watches. I absolutely love this watch, and yeah, again, one of those watches that I would like to keep in my collection. I never felt the need of really selling this watch off, and this watch gets a lot of wrist time as well. It has a lot of wrist presence, and again, a really nicely finished watch. So here it is on my wrist. When I was saying earlier, this watch has a lot of wrist presence, I wasn't just saying it. This watch commands attention. Again, one of the best finished watches in my collection. I would say one of the best finished watches in this price range as well. So this is my Longines Zulu GMT. And the next in the line is my Omega Seamaster Professional Planet Ocean. Absolutely love this watch as well. Bought this in Japan last year, and I'm so glad that I did. Again, one of those watches that just commands attention and has a lot of wrist presence as well, easily recognizable. And again, one of those watches that I would love to keep in my collection for years to come. I will only sell it if I have to, if the situation will demand, but otherwise I will have no intention to sell this watch anytime soon. Absolutely love this watch, really nicely finished as expected from Omega anyway. So here it is on my average wrist. This watch is hefty. It has some weight to it, but trust me, it does not feel uncomfortable at all. This bracelet is really comfortable. The whole watch is really comfortable. And again, one of those watches, even though it's a bit heavy, you can wear it all day long without really feeling any kind of uncomfort, in my opinion. And the next one is my Seiko Prospex. I was in love with this watch when it first came out. I wanted to buy straight away, but I had to hold myself back because I never pay full price for a Seiko, and that can be said for many of the watches in my collection as well. So I had to wait long enough for me to be able to justify paying what I paid for this watch. I managed to score a decent discount on this watch, but I absolutely love the dial on this watch. Again, the way it catches the light, the way it plays with the light is really good. And I haven't really reviewed the watch on my channel so far. I did the unboxing but never got around to reviewing this watch on my channel, which I will do in 2025. But again, one of those watches that I really like. This watch has seen a lot of wrist time, and it will keep seeing a lot of wrist time in the future as well, because I really like putting this watch on my wrist. And here it is on my wrist again. Again, a bit on the heavier side, I must say. This watch is not the lightest of watches that you will find out there, but no discomfort at all, not uncomfortable in any way at all. Really comfortable, decently finished by Seiko as well in this price range. And again, it just comes down to that dial. I really love the dial on this watch. I'm a dials person. I absolutely love good looking dials, and this has to be one of the best looking dials out there. And Seiko does fantastic dials, that must be admitted, that when it comes down to dials, especially in the affordable range, Seiko does really nice dials. So the next watch is my Tag Heuer Monaco, the only square watch in my collection. Such an iconic piece, easily recognizable. I can't tell you how many conversations I've struck off with people who are in the know or other watch enthusiasts just on the back of having this watch on my wrist. Again, one of those watches that I really adore and have no intention to sell anytime in the future. Again, unless the situation demands, I will want to keep this watch in my collection for years to come. Absolutely love this timepiece, and yeah, again, one of those iconic pieces that is unique and so different to anything else out there. So here it is on my wrist. Again, one of those watches that has a lot of wrist presence. The watch is only 39 millimeters, I believe, in case size, but because the way it's shaped, this square shape, makes it look larger than its true size. But I'm not faced by that in any way, to be honest with you. Absolutely love this watch, and as I said earlier, would like to keep this watch in my collection for years to come. So the next watch is my Casio Oceanus, and I bought this watch in Japan last year as well, along with the Omega that I just showed you earlier. Again, this watch is really nicely finished for the price. I believe I paid less than 500 Australian dollars for this watch. This is my pick up and go watch. It's always ticking, it's always telling the right time, and again, really comfortable. And Casio as a brand, I absolutely love Casio. They just keep offering value for money regardless of the price they're charging. For most of their watches, it can be said that you do get value, and that is the case here with this watch as well. I'm actually looking at selling this watch because I'm trying to fund another piece of GMT that I spoke about earlier. I haven't put it on the market yet. I'm still contemplating either to sell or not to sell, but I believe I'll end up going down the route of selling this watch in the near future. But until then, it is still a part of my collection, and it is still here. So I'll try to keep wearing it as much as I can until it comes to the point where I sell it off. So here it is on my wrist again, and this watch is really nicely finished for the price. It can definitely do with some cleaning. As you can see, it's got some fingerprints on there, which are mostly from the making of this video. So here it is, guys. Again, has a really nice finish to the bracelet, the case, and that sapphire crystal has a really nice AR coating as well. So again, Casio just knocks it out of the park with most of their watches, and they have done that with this watch as well. So we move on to my second and last Seiko in my collection. Yes, only two Seikos in my collection, which is where I would like to keep them anyway. I'm happy with having two Seikos in my collection. And again, the dial on this watch, I was after this watch again for a while, but couldn't justify paying the full retail price for it, so I had to wait for the price to come down, and I pulled the trigger as soon as I found a decent deal on this watch. I believe I've had this watch for about 2 years now, and again, one of those watches that does see a lot of wrist time. The dial on this watch is just something else. Again, the way it plays with the light, the different shades of that red and a burgundy that you will see in this watch, depending on the way you're looking at the dial, is really mesmerizing. And I come to my point earlier that Seiko makes some of the best dials in the affordable range, and again, this is one of those watches that stands true to that comment, in my opinion. Okay guys, here it is on my wrist. Now, if you are looking at buying a Grand Seiko but don't have the money to buy a Grand Seiko, or can't justify the price you're paying for one for whatever reason, then make sure you shortlist this Seiko Presage. As you know, Grand Seiko is known for the dials, and what you will get with this Seiko Presage is a fantastic dial, but at the fraction of the cost. So here is the next in the line, which is one of my most recent acquisitions. I bought this watch along with the Hamilton Ventura and got a stellar deal on this one as well. I bought this watch at about 65% off retail, and it was part of the Black Friday sale. Absolutely love the dial, this sector dial, and the salmon color on this dial as well. I've got nothing like this in my collection, or until I bought this watch. This dial goes really nicely with the black markers and the black on the hands and everything else. I haven't even had a chance to take off the black sticker so far. I did the unboxing of this watch yesterday on the channel. I'm actually waiting on a new strap to come through. Don't get me wrong, this strap is really nice and really comfortable. You can feel the quality of the leather that this strap is made out of, but I like to keep my original straps in a mint condition, just for the reason if I decide to sell this watch in the future, you can sell the strap in a brand new condition, and that definitely helps with the sale. That has been my experience so far. I don't do that with every watch. Something that I'm not planning to sell ever, I'll wear it on the original strap or the bracelet, but I might sell this sometime in the future. Again, a really nice looking salmon dial, something that I never had in my collection until I made this purchase. So here it is on my wrist, and again, a beautiful dial, especially with that salmon color. I always wanted to buy a watch with a salmon colored dial, and when I came across this watch with the price they were asking for it during the Black Friday sale, I could not resist myself, and I had to go for it. And I'm so glad that I did. It's a beautiful looking timepiece. So next is the only AliExpress or the only Chinese watch in my collection, and everything else that I had bought from AliExpress I either sold or most of them I've sold, to be honest. So I cashed in and spent that money on other watches in my collection. So this watch is an absolute anomaly when it comes down to having a column wheel chronograph for under 250 bucks. I think I paid less than 250 Australian dollars. That is for this watch, and it is still going really strong. And look at that movement as well for the price that you're paying for this watch. I still believe one of the best value watches that you can buy on AliExpress even today. So again, one of those watches that I don't really feel like selling, and I think it goes really nicely with this green military style strap as well. It pairs really nicely with the overall look of this watch. So here it is on my wrist, and the only watch that has managed to survive in my collection. I'm talking about the AliExpress watches, and I'm so glad that I kept this one and did not sell it. And again, I have no intention to sell this watch anytime soon. So here we are to a watch which is really special to me. This watch holds a lot of sentimental value. This was my first ever automatic watch. This was gifted to me by my wife. I have no reason to sell it, and this is where the love for the automatic watches or mechanical watches really started for me. Where my collection is today, it owes a lot to this watch, because this really intrigued me and I got into watches. And I was already into watches before having this watch as well, but this really triggered me. And where my watch collection is today, it is because of this one watch. And here it is on my wrist. As I said earlier, nothing special about this watch, but it has a lot of sentimental value, and it is really special to me. Yes, it has a lot of scratches as well, as you can see, because at one point this was the only watch I had, and this used to see a lot of wrist time, so it got scuffed up a little bit, as you can see as well. But that just tells you I used to wear this watch a lot. This used to be on my wrist every day, sometimes 7 days a week. There we go, another Casio. Again, one of my recent purchases. I did sell some watches lately as well, so I cashed up, and I had the money. I'm glad I had the money to spend on the watches that I bought during the Black Friday sale. Again, I always wanted to buy a full metal Casio, but I just couldn't justify the price, or there wasn't enough discount on offer. And when I came across this one, which was being offered for under 500 Australian dollars, I just jumped onto it straight away. And I think I checked out 30 minutes later and it was sold out. So I'm so glad that I was at the right place at the right time. And I'm really liking this watch. I'm not going to use this watch the same way I use my other GA2100, which I don't even know where it is at the moment, because that is my watch that I wear for outdoor activities or when I'm gardening and all the kind of stuff, all the dirty work. That watch is on my wrist, so this will not be worn the same way, because as you can see, this has a lot of, not bling, but this has a lot of polished parts to it, so they will scuff up fairly easily. So I would like to keep this watch in as good a condition as possible. So again, one of my most recent purchases. Always wanted to have one, and I'm so glad that I too have one now in my collection. So here it is on my wrist again, one of those watches that has a lot of wrist presence. Haven't reviewed this on the channel yet, because again, I bought it only about a week and a half ago. But again, this watch is has seen a decent amount of wrist time in the last week and a half or so. This has been on my wrist almost every day, and I've been swapping between this and the Hamilton Ventura. So yeah, absolutely loving this watch so far. Again, one of those watches that commands attention, and the wrist presence is just absolutely fantastic. So here it is, my second Citizen. I've got two Citizens in my collection, and this is the only titanium watch in my collection. I absolutely love Citizen's Promaster range. They offer some stellar pieces in this collection, especially when it comes down to the price they charge for them, and on most occasions you can get some decent discounts on these watches as well. So they offer a lot of value. And when it comes down to the warranty as well, if you're buying from a local AD here in Australia, you do get 5-year warranty, which is fantastic for the price that you're paying for this watch. One of the market leading warranties you can find out there, especially in this price range. Really comfortable, really light, and if you are looking for your first, or if you're looking for an affordable diver's watch, then make sure you check out Citizen's Promaster range, because there are some fantastic pieces that you can choose from, and you cannot really go wrong with the value on offer with most Citizen watches, especially in the Promaster range. So here it is on my wrist, and the other thing I wanted to say about Citizen watches, especially the Promaster range, not all the Promasters, but most of the divers in this range, don't just go by the case size. You might look at the case size of 42, 43, or even 44 mil and rule them out straight away because they're too large for your wrist. But trust me, a lot of these watches wear smaller than their true size. So always go out, check them out, put them on your wrist, and you will be amazed that these sizes can really be deceiving. And the 42 mil might wear like a 40 mil in some cases as well. So always check them out, and the quality is quite decent for the price that you're paying for these watches as well. And now we are on to the most expensive watch in my collection. Trust me, when I bought this watch, even though it marked a big achievement in my life, when I bought this watch, the decision to spend nearly $18,000 on a single watch did not come easy to me, especially when the most expensive watch I had at that time was less than $1,000. So you can understand how hard it was for me to even justify or fathom the idea of spending nearly $18,000 on a single watch. But the occasion was such that I decided to go ahead and bought myself this Rolex Datejust Wimbledon dial, and I'm so glad I did. This is again one of those watches that I would never sell in the future, again, unless the situation demands. Again, this is one of those watches, along with many of the watches in my collection, that I would like to pass on to the next generation in my family. So the most expensive watch in my collection, as I said earlier, I'm not going to do this video in any particular order, so I'm just going with the flow. But here it is, guys. This is the most expensive watch in my collection. Here it is on my wrist, and again, it fits really nicely. And this is the 41 mil case, but there's barely any lug overhang, and it's really comfortable as well for a stainless steel watch. The finishing is really nice, as it should be anyway, especially for the price Rolex charges for their watches. So here it is, my Rolex Datejust, and we only have a couple of watches left, and I'll wrap up the video. So here it is, guys, my final watch of my core collection. Now I do have other watches lying around as well, but I can't really show you every watch that I have lying around because then this video will be an hour long. So this Zodiac, I bought this about 3 months ago. I bought this used, but this is in a really good nick. Came with another Zodiac green rubber strap as well. So this watch is in a really good condition, and to be honest, it looks pretty much brand new for the most part. I always wanted a Zodiac in my collection, and I really wanted to have a green dial in my collection as well. And when I came across this on eBay, I decided to go ahead and killed two birds with one stone, and ended up winning the bid. I had to jack up the price a little bit to be a clear winner, and that what I was at the end. So this is the final watch. I'll give you a reshot shortly, and then I'll wrap up this video. So here it is, guys, on my wrist. Thank you very much for watching, and as I said earlier at the start of the video, we are about to close another year, and I would like to thank you for your support throughout this year and the previous years as well, and I would love to have this support carrying on into 2025 and the years to come. Thank you very much for watching. Again, I'll see you with my next video shortly. Until then, stay safe and look after one another. Thank you again.